Hi, I'm Kevin Galetz, and I'm a program facilitator with the Regina District Industry Education Council, and I work in the Sunwest School Division. And here today I'm here with Hannah Weber, and I'll just maybe let her state more about what her post-secondary situation is right now and where she is and program and what year she's in.
Thanks. I'm attending the University of Regina and I'm enrolled in my first year of the collaborative Bachelor of Science of Nursing degree. And the program is offered by the University of Regina and Sask Polytech. So sometimes my classes are at the U of R and sometimes they're at Sask Poly.
Okay, so you've got a little bit of variety that way. You're not in the same setting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess going back, and one thing I should mention here too is that Hannah in year one is only 4.5 months out of high school. So for some of you high school students that may be watching this later, Hannah was in a high school desk 4.5 months ago in June of 2024. So this is all fresh for her and new for her. So this would be her experiences could be very close to what you might be going through in your decision making and whatnot. So it's pretty fresh. So, Hannah, do you recall what were the factors for you to decide to go to this particular post-secondary program and in this location?
Well, I've always kind of been pursuing like healthcare. But because like before I kind of wanted to be a paramedic. And then before that, I kind of wanted to be a veterinarian, which isn't really healthcare, but it's like the same path. And then, but one of the things that influenced me was like knowing the demand for nurses in the healthcare system. And then for choosing Regina, I wanted something that was like not too close to home, but still like drivable distance for when I wanted to go home. And another thing was the program here is direct entry, where some of the other ones, like you have to take some classes before and then apply to the nursing program.
Yeah, it's interesting. You actually, I think that's a really important part, the direct entry part. That's what a lot of students do consider that program for that reason. But the other thing is, you said you wanted to be a little further, like just for people that are listening in from other areas. Like uh, Hannah was from Rosetown, and the closest post-secondary institute for Rosetown students is Saskatoon.
Yeah.
So Sask Polytech or U of S. So
hmm
can you kind of elaborate a little more on why was it important for you to kind of get a little further out than just Saskatoon?
Well, I always like go to Saskatoon for a bunch of things, so I wanted something that was kind of like new and actually like felt like I was like living on my own instead of being able to go home like so frequently or like
Yeah,
something that I've already like known.
yeah, okay, that's good. That's awesome to hear. So can you describe that transition? You've been a high school student and now you're living away from home. How has that transition been in these 4.5 months?
It's been good so far, I think, because at home, I have two younger brothers, so and we're kind of independent because my mom works a lot, but so like cooking and like cleaning and like taking my brothers everywhere kind of just works. And then time management was something. So like making sure you study enough. And then I think another big adjustment was like academic differences. Like my grades aren't the same as they were in high school because university is just a lot harder, but that's okay.
Are you settling into the idea that that's maybe it's going to be difficult to meet your high
Yeah.
school marks, but I'm still doing okay?
hmm
Yeah, yeah. So independence. So I guess maybe it leads to some of the things like so that transition of independence to independence. You sound like you had a little more. You did some of that at home anyways. When mom was working.
hmm
Yeah. So did that help?
Yeah, I think it really helped because it made stuff easier, like cooking and cleaning and doing all those things.
Those are things that you've been doing anyways. Okay,
hmm
good for you. Um, what do you feel what you were best prepared for? What like you were this? Yeah, this was met my expectation. I was really ready for this.
I think like the same, just like the responsibilities of living on my own, I felt really prepared for just because having two younger brothers and driving them around places and cooking.
So, so maybe a tip for students in the future is take on some responsibilities if you don't have them. Like you just
Yeah, I think so. That would really help.
good. Um, what weren't you prepared for, perhaps? As
I was like kind of prepared, but also not for like how much like the workload of school and like how much time you spend studying and like the homework that's assigned. Like in school, teachers always like said that it was going to be a lot, but like once you get to university and actually experience it, it's really different.
And how did you cope with that adjustment of there's just that much more work or is that much harder?
Just like finding time to study, but also like making sure you have time to do other things, to just having that balance and yeah.
Um, what do you do? I don't know if you've had this feeling of overwhelmed or you're out of sorts and it's just piling up on you, but what do you do when you get that way? What's your coping mechanism?
When I feel overwhelmed from like doing schoolwork and stuff, I usually just like take a short break and then go do something and then come back and try it again when I'm like have a fresh mind and ready to start.
Okay, good. How often have you come home? I just wondering about
I've come home I think 3 or 4 times this semester, so I usually go home when like there's a long weekend or I have something I have to do at home, and then I went home for the reading week.
that. Okay, good. Um, what about meeting people? Like, how's that been, meeting new people?
It's been good. So I feel like I met the most people during like that first week of school when um you go to classes and you just like sit by people and then introduce yourself and talk to them. And then there's also been a lot of like group projects in university, which was something that high school teachers told us about, which is definitely true. And that makes it a lot easier to meet new people.
So you're in a group, so you're kind of forced to work with them. So there you go.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. You said you sat down and you introduced yourself. So you kind of intentionally did that rather than just kind of sit there quietly and
Yeah.
keep to myself.
Either that or other people come up and sit by you and talk to you. So,
Okay, good. And that's a good thing for people to know. You sometimes have to, I don't know about put yourself out there in a way, but in a sense, you got to,
yeah.
if you don't, then it's just going to be just you. Yeah. Um, yes. The next question would be: can you describe your living arrangements? What's your where you're living?
Yeah. So I'm living in a 2 bedroom apartment style dorm, and it's been really good because I'm actually living with Sienna Fisher, who's from Rosetown.
Okay.
So we have our own kitchen and we cook together, and it's just been really fun.
So you actually, I guess this is for people to know too. So you're with a former classmate.
Hmm.
So when you apply for res there, you can kind of the two of you work together to make that happen. That's how that
Yeah.
works. So for high school students, you can do that. Just let them know
Hmm.
that. Okay, good. So dorm apartment size, again, your own kitchen, then you said, and everything like that. You do your own cooking,
Yeah.
but it's on campus.
Hmm.
Good, good. Um, the kind of the financial aspect, because I know listen, you're managing some of your own money. I know there's maybe
Yeah.
some parental influence there and stuff like that, but you have some decisions to make with spending money. I assume. How's that been?
It's been good. Over the summer, I like worked and saved up a bunch of money for university and then kind of just managing it. I don't spend it on things I don't need. I try to just save it for what I do need.
Being really responsible. That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah. Is it so like if you've ever found, geez, I got these temptations, I can spend this money because there's nobody here to stop me, or has that not been a big deal for you?
Sometimes I'll splurge on something.
There you go. Can you tell me one or two things you wish you would have known now that you've had this, this early experience that you wish you would have known going into this?
I think one of the main things is like the resources and support that the university has, and like being able to ask your professors and like instructors for help. In high school, some teachers kind of made it seem like you were like on your own and there wasn't help, but once you get to university, like they put a big emphasis on there's resources there to help you and there's study groups and you can ask your professors because they're there to help you.
So that's more than you expected, actually.
Mhm.
Yeah, good. Anything else? Any other thing you wish you would have known?
I don't think so. Maybe just make sure you find time to study.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It takes some more time, doesn't it? Yeah. And are any tips or comments for current high school students, just as we close out here?
I think make sure you have like work on your time management skills with studying and make sure you find time to do things that you like, because otherwise you're just gonna burn out from all the studying and schoolwork.
So student life and out of student life or beyond
Yeah,
student life has to have some, I don't know, balance,
some
but
kind of balance. Yeah.
got to be some other things besides just being a student.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then can't really think of anything else. Maybe just like don't worry about having everything figured out because like there's still lots of time to figure everything out.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. Yeah. And it's a learning experience. I mean, you're going to learn some more things yet. You're only 4.5
Yep,
months in, and if I interviewed you 4 years from now, you'll have some different perspectives yet. So I'm sure. So.
definitely.
Yeah. All right, Hannah, thank you very much. Really appreciate you doing this. That's awesome. I think by other high school students hearing someone like yourself and having a pretty good experience by the sounds of it, I think that's reassuring for them. So thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thank you for having me.
Thanks a lot.